Hi, everyone. Welcome to Data 606. I'm going to be your instructor for the semester, Dr. Jason Breyer, and I'm looking forward to meeting everyone and working with you as you enter this course and enter this program. So I'm just going to take a few minutes here to go over the course structure. Kind of want to give you an overview of the syllabus, the assignments, and a little bit of set some expectations for how this course is going to run. So a little bit about me. I'm currently an executive director and principal investigator on a grant at Excelsior College, where I'm developing something we call DAX, or the Diagnostic Assessment Achievement of College Skills. You can think of it as an alternative to placement exams. It's a big formative assessment that undergraduate students take when they enter college, and plays a big part because one of our big goals is predicting which students are going to be successful or not, and trying to develop specific interventions for students to help them be successful. Some information there if you're interested in it. Some of you may want to just go. If you go to that website, you can actually try it yourself. And we have an assessment on self-regulated learning where you might learn some kind of cool things about how you are as a learner, and get some suggestions and resources to help you out there. Totally up to you if you want to take advantage of that, but that's available to you. With regard to stats and statistics and R and the like, I'm the author of over a dozen R packages. A couple of the common or more popular ones is one analyzing Likert data that we'll talk about in a couple of weeks. SQL utils is a nice little package if you have to deal with databases and lots of SQL files that will help you. Timeline is another little package I developed to create graphical timelines, and I could show that at some point. Closer to the end of the semester, I'll talk about some of the other areas in statistics-oriented world. I'm really interested in experimental designs, causality, and in particular quasi-experimental designs, and specifically propensity score analysis. So related to that, I've created 3 R packages to extend PSA for specific contexts. I'll probably talk about that closer to the end of the semester for those who might be interested. In addition to doing data analysis, statistics, and research, I'm also a very proud dad of 3 boys. And I'm also a photographer on the side. My wife and I do some photography together, and this here is a picture of Albany, which is where I'm based out of. So I'm not in New York City. I'm just a couple of hours north. This is our fine capital, and great place to take photographs. So for this course, I created a website. If you haven't found it already, do make your way over there. It's data606.net. And that's going to have all of the course material that you're going to need. Hopefully, all the information you need to be successful is going to be there. We're going to use Blackboard pretty much exclusively for submitting assignments. So you will submit your assignments on Blackboard, but you're going to get all the other information at the course website. And when you do submit assignments on Blackboard, if you could possibly use PDF files, if you're using R Markdown, submit the RMD files. And if you decide to use RPubs, if you want to publish your stuff online, you can do that. You can just provide a link in the Blackboard submission. That's completely fine. And something you might want to think about doing is starting a portfolio. I think some of the labs that you're going to do throughout the semester will be of interest, and maybe something you want to share or have for yourself going forward. So we're going to cover 9 topics. 8 of them are going to come from the Open Intro textbook, which is a free textbook. You can download the PDF for free off the website. If you do want a paper copy, I think you can get a black and white version from Amazon for about $15. Or you can actually get a full color copy, hardcover copy, for about $25 if you want the paper version. If not, the PDF is completely sufficient if you're happy with that. So we're going to go through all that entire textbook, and then we'll do a short unit on Bayesian analysis. There won't be any assignments around the Bayesian analysis, but there'll be some lectures, and I did provide a supplemental chapter there that you can read. And when we get to that unit, I'll provide other resources. I used that unit in part to kind of give you an introduction of some other materials you're going to do throughout the course, but also it provides a nice contrast to what we're going to do up through the entire semester. So this is the course schedule. Of course, this is tentative to change, but in general, this is going to kind of how we're going to proceed throughout the semester. As far as assignments or how you're going to be graded, So first in Blackboard, this is one other area where we're going to use Blackboard. There's a forum. If you could just answer a few questions about yourself, introduce yourself to me and to the class. Feel free to respond to other people. You're going to be together for a while, and many of us are doing this remotely, so it's kind of nice to connect with other folks and go through. There's going to be a couple of homework problems for each chapter. They're worth 2 points each for each chapter. So there's 8 chapters, or so 16% of your grade is going to be those homework assignments. I think the meat of the course is going to be the labs, and there's one per chapter, although chapter 4 has 2 parts. So chapter 4 is going to be worth 8 points. And there's actually a lab 0 that hopefully you can get started on right away. It's going to just introduce you to R and make sure you get R and RStudio up and running, and that you can do that. So the sooner you can get through lab 0 and feel comfortable with that, that will set you up for success for the entire semester. There's going to be a data project where you're going to analyze a data set of your choosing, and we will talk about that later in the semester. And there's a final exam in the last week of the course that's worth 18%. And then finally, everybody's expected to complete or do one presentation throughout the semester. So you're going to pick one of the practice problems, one of the odd number of problems that are listed there, prepare a very short, less than 5-minute presentation to explain how you solve that problem and how you get to it. And then there's a Google spreadsheet that you can sign up. So you can sign up now for something in the future if there's a particular week that works for you. And so do that as soon as possible. So we're going to try to do 3, maybe 4 of those a week. So the first 10 or 15 minutes of each class will be presentations from the previous chapter's week. So communication. So there's a couple of ways you can get a hold of me. Email, of course, is always available. I gave you my Gmail account. I check that very regularly. So I'm going to see that more frequently than my CUNY email address, although that is certainly acceptable to do. I've set up a Slack channel I found in past semesters. Actually, this came as a recommendation from past students. This is a great way, I think, for everyone to communicate. It's a popular tool in data science, so it's something you're going to, if you're not familiar with, might be worth getting familiar. So this is the Slack channel that we're going to be using, and this is a link. It's a long link. The link is also in Blackboard, so if you get to these slides, just click this, and that'll allow you to get into the channel. And again, do that as soon as possible, because this link is only valid for a couple of weeks, and then it will no longer work. The whole course website and all the materials are on GitHub. So another way, if you have an issue with content, or just a sort of a generic question or a more general question that you think would benefit other students and doesn't fit in the Slack format, or you want to share a little bit of our code that's not working, you can submit an issue to the course GitHub page, and we'll see that, and I'll respond to it. And that's another great way to kind of communicate, and that's a great spot to kind of save stuff as we're learning throughout the semester. And then I can be available by phone or through GoToMeeting. This is another great way. So just email me with some times that work for you, and we can get online. We can share screens, and that's another great way to work through issues. So in addition to the course website, I've developed an R package called Data 606, which is going to have a lot of the materials that you're going to need for the course. So this is hosted on GitHub, so you can look up the source code of everything. You're going to see I have a lot of little interactive apps that I'll introduce as the semester goes along. Those are all going to be within that Data 606 package. So this little command here will install it. And then, so the library command, if you're new to R, is going to load that package. And there's a couple of functions that I'm going to draw your attention to. So first, this function here, vignette with the package, will list all the vignettes that are available. This is true for any package in R, quite frankly. So if there's a vignette, this is a way to find out if it exists. So if you just type vignette OS3, which stands for Open Statistics, that'll actually open the textbook for you. So it's kind of embedded in the R package. So that's another way to get a hold of it. The data with this parameter package equals data 606 is going to list all of the data that's available in the package. And there's also another open data package that you're going to install that will have data sets for the textbook. These are some additional data sets that I'll use throughout the semester as teaching examples. Where you want to get started is there's a function called get labs that just returns a list of all the labs. So to get started on your first lab, you can just type start lab, and lab 0 is the first parameter. What that will do is copy that lab 0 to your current working directory and then open the RMD file. And you're going to just start working in that RMD file, and you can knit it as you go through. And if you read the lab, it's going to explain how you're going to do all of these parts. And then ultimately, that's what you're going to do. You're going to write your answers in that RMD file and submit that to Blackboard when you're done. The Shiny underscore demo is a list of all the available Shiny apps, and there'll be quite a few of those throughout the semester. So no need to worry about that right now. Key is get this installed, get R and RStudio installed, up and running, and try to start that first lab as soon as you can. And hopefully that'll set you up for good success. So as I mentioned, really all of the labs are going to be in R Markdown. You can choose to do the homework assignments in R Markdown. I think as the semester goes on and you get more familiar with R, you might find that an easier way to go. You can use anything you want, though. If you can even handwrite the answers to the homework problems, scan them, and submit them that way. So like I said, the Start Lab is going to just give you a template to begin with. But if you just want to start a blank, brand new R Markdown file, you can do that from the RStudio menu. If you just click File, New File, and R Markdown, and then you can just start typing. It'll actually fill it in with the little example R Markdown. You can delete that content and move on. So just quickly looking at the course website. So everything's here. So on this first page is information you should review. You can see grade distributions, a little bit how the course works, the textbook here. This is the one that you should get right away. The Open Intro Statistics. I got a couple of other recommended books. All of these I think are largely free. This one here, R for Data Science. So if you're new to R, this is something you should have bookmarked or buy a paper copy. Although Hadley has been enhancing this book and adding chapters. So the online version is actually more current and has some new information that might be valuable to you. So the other pages that you're going to want to be visiting frequently. So here's a course schedule. If you're a Google Calendar user, I have all of the meetup times and the times for each unit, and a couple of spots where there are some holidays. You can import this into your own Google Calendar, or if you want the table view, it's down here. Each of these here linked to a specific page. So there's a page for each chapter that has some information. The other page you're going to want to go to is this Meetups page. This is where I'm going to put the course slides and the links to the video recordings. So this video will be here. A note is that we will not have a meetup on the first Wednesday as normal. Unfortunately, I am out of the country presenting at a conference. So this video is going to serve in lieu of that first meetup. So this content is typically what I would talk about there. So our first meetup will not be until Wednesday, September 5th, and we'll talk about chapter 1. Also, some other links. You can just go through this. Some more information if you want links to download R and RStudio, and the Data 606 package is all available here. And then there's information on the meetup. So if you go, or I mean on the assignments, so you can see here, here's the Google spreadsheet where you can sign up for your meetup. Here's where all the homework assignments are listed, and some information about the labs here. And then in a couple of weeks, I'll spend some time at one of our meetups talking about the data project. No need to worry about that quite yet. That will be due at the end of the semester. So at this point, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions, hit me up on Slack or email, and I look forward to seeing and meeting everyone throughout the semester. Take care.